I always figured, John, you would have more of appreciation for this since you like professional wrestling. Of what sort of wrestling character would Earthrealm be if we're talking about, professional wrestling?
Brooklyn Brawler.
Oh, man, really?
Well, I don't know. We'll give it Earthrealm a little credit. Maybe we're Road Dog.
Oh, no, not Road Dog. Oh, no, not Road Dog. That's not good. So we're like the poster child for DX. Is that who we are?
Just kind of the hype man for DX. Yeah, like they're there.
You're the third wheel. You're not X-Pac. You're not China. You sure as hell aren't Triple H. You're just that other guy, with the dreadlocks. You're just there. You're there to take some punches, not win, not ever be champion. Ever. Oh, man, that's horrible. We're Road Dog.
Oh, goody, goody, here it comes.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show.
You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Oh, my God, don't stop now!
With your hosts, Ryan, John, and Elaine.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show, the madhouse for film freaks and film fans of all types. I'm your host, Brian Coddington, joined by my fellow co-host and filmmaker, John Woolscroft.
Mortal Kombat! Test your might. Test your might.
I wonder what we're talking about this week.
You know what? I thought we would talk about Pride and Prejudice and have a nice discussion on the film and book versions.
Oh, damn it. I prepared for Sophie's Choice.
Oh, man. That's, Sophie's Choice. Did I got to ask you this question.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to watch Sophie's Choice in film school?
No. I watched it on my own like a complete asshole.
Yeah, no, for us, it was for film school. So, like, I remember, is like back in the day, I went to Robert Morris University, and my film professor at the time, like, our film, like, theory, because you always have one, right? But my film professor at the time, his name is Bacher. That's what we called him, Lutz Bach. That's what his name was, Lutz Bacher. And fantastic guy. It's the only reason why I have no problem mentioning him. But we would have to watch movies first class, and the only way that we could get access to his movies, this is before really Netflix was kind of a major league thing, was we had to go to the library and go watch them in a special room. So I remember being in a special room watching fucking Sophie's Choice going like, this is horrible.
Nothing like being in a small room in the library of your university watching Sophie's Choice.
I also had to watch Heart of Darkness, the documentary about how they made Apocalypse Now. I watched that one in the same tiny room. So,
that's a good documentary, though.
It is a good documentary. It's a very good documentary. But when you bring up Sophie's Choice, I just immediately get like post-traumatic stress syndrome of that scene inside the tiny room going like, which kid is she going to choose?
I think Sophie gets post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, I know. But I feel it with her. Not really, but. Okay, so speaking about movies, I don't have a transition for that. This week on episode 210, we're going to be covering, of course, Mortal Kombat, the 1995 classic. Not really. We're covering the new one.
But I rewatched the 1995 classic in
I have
preparation
seen it
for this episode
so many times. I didn't need to. That one 1995 classic. Oh, it's beautiful. It's like a fine wine of shit.
What a vile
But it's
piece of
nostalgia
garbage.
shit, though. It's nostalgia shit, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it takes you back to like slumber parties, like Square Pizza, Cool Ranch Doritos, Mr. Pibb, staying up way too late, Yeah.
Yeah. See, for me, it takes you back to the babysitter I had when I was about, I don't know, like 10 or 11. Because my mom at the time, she was a real estate agent. She had to go out and work. So during the summer, we had, I'm not going to lie, she was pretty attractive. Babysitter. And giggity. I remember she had an eyebrow ring, and I was like, yeah, it's hot. And like that set kind of the stage for women that I would be attracted to forever. But the point is that she would play Mortal Kombat. I'm thinking to myself, this would probably not be the movie I'd want to show to kids, because I was the oldest by being like 11. My brother was, at the time, I think he was probably 9, and then my brother Tyler was maybe about 1 year old. So I think probably Mortal Kombat would not be the movie I'd want to show. But either way, like, it brings back to that time.
Brian, you should have pulled her close to you and said, "Get over here."
No, that would be illegal. That would be really, really illegal. And fodder for a Lifetime movie. But we're not talking about Lifetime movies. Those could be their own special type of episode. But we're going to be talking about the 2021 Mortal Kombat film, the one that is currently on not only theaters but streaming services because HBO said "fuck you."
Yeah, on HBO Max, we are not. We have no promotion with HBO Max. Although if they wanted to pay us money, that might be fine.
That would be nice. I am for sale. I think we can agree with that, right? We are.
Yeah.
100%. We have a price. It's not that high. It's not that high. But yeah, we're talking about Mortal Kombat this week, and I gotta say, this movie kind of snuck up on me. I was not entirely aware that this one was coming. And I think a lot of people weren't aware that it was coming, because I remember that when HBO did their whole announcement of all of the movies, Warner Brothers was doing their announcement of all the movies that were going to be coming to HBO Max this year. I looked through and saw like, okay, yeah, Godzilla versus Kong. Okay, that's cool. And then I'm like, oh, well, Dune, that's going to be going too. Holy shit. They're going to be really pissed off. And they were. And then I saw Mortal Kombat. I'm like, what? They're making another one? Was that your reaction, or did you know about this one, John?
I did know a little bit about this one, like in preparation for the schedule of this year. But of course, every single new release that I planned for the calendar has been delayed or changed or moved, and it's just been a fucking nightmare.
I was going to say, we should have been on Black Widow like last year.
Yeah. Last March was supposed to be our Black Widow episode.
Black Widow. I remember looking at the schedule like, okay, Black Widow, that seems like a March thing. Oh, yeah. We are still going on a year and more. Yeah. So,
but I thought like, oh, okay, here's another classic example of Hollywood appealing to people between 30 and 40 who were like, remember how much you liked watching the first one at sleepovers and playing the game all cracked out on, caffeine?
Surge.
Like, well, here you go.
So much Surge.
Yeah. Surge.
Yeah.
The great Surge wars of the mid 90s.
Man, there was another one too that was also in the Surge wars. It was from Pepsi. I forget what it was called though. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I honestly, I had no idea this movie was coming out, and I was, after I saw the breakdown of movies, they're kind of like, okay, well, when are they going to start putting promotional stuff? And in my opinion, they kind of put promotional stuff really late on this one. Like, we didn't get really anything until what, maybe mid-February?
Yeah, it's hard to, this movie is a hard R. And it's hard to promote something like that because, it's like, oh, you can't throw that on a can of soda or a bag of Fritos.
Yes, you could. Oh, you so much could. You absolutely could.
I don't remember Deadpool fruit roll-ups. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds amazing. I'm sure Brian Reynolds would be all for Deadpool fruit roll-ups and Fruit Loops. Got to have both. But yeah, I remember that there really wasn't a whole lot of promotion for this. And I mean, it started to pick up towards, as I said, like mid-February into March. That's where it started to see more and more material for it. I think they were kind of pushing more the Godzilla versus Kong stuff at that point. But I saw this movie and I wasn't expecting much. I'll be the first to say that. I was not expecting much. I think it's safe to say we're probably going to spoil the shit out of this film, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I want to get that one out of the way.
All right, here's the spoilers for the entire. They fight.
They are fighting, and there is more fighting, and more
combat.
fighting. And there might be a tournament of sorts between Outworld and Earthrealm. You know,
Two realms.
Battling it out. But yeah, I mean, I just want to make sure that we're giving our audience full disclosure that, guess what, this will be spoiling the shit of it, because this movie is not that deep. I think we could kind of all agree with that. And the first one was not that deep. And the second one is, oh boy, we don't need to talk about the second one. We do not need to talk about Mortal Kombat Annihilation ever. I'm sure we'll probably do a
someday on Pantheon of Utter Shit. We'll talk about Annihilation.
Yeah. Especially because like that was one, I don't know about you, but I saw that one in the theaters.
Ooh.
Yeah. I actually wanted to see it because I was a fan of the original Mortal Kombat. And the only good part I can remember is seeing the trailer for Dark City. That was it.
Nothing like the highlight of a movie-going experience is a trailer, you know?
Yeah, an Alex Proyas trailer, which is always going to be a downer no matter what. I mean, that's kind of the way the man works. That's why he did The Crow. But anyway, you know, the second one we will eventually talk about on Pantheon of Utter Shit. But obviously, with this one, complete kind of reboot to the way this is. And what was interesting about this was this isn't the first time that this franchise has been remade. A lot of people forget that the reason that this film exists is because of a web series that was on YouTube. Did you know that?
No. Oh.
Yeah. So there was a short film. It was kind of a series of short films called Mortal Kombat Rebirth. And it was like 8 minutes long. And it kind of reintroduced Mortal Kombat as not being goofy. And it ended up like the short film Rebirth became a web series called Mortal Kombat Legacy. And what happened was a lot of those people that were involved in kind of the feel of it basically, you know, transferred over to what we got with this version of Mortal Kombat. So it's interesting, and that this kind of reignited interest in the franchise.
A small world.
Well, you rarely hear that though. Like we're always told in film school, oh, do the short film and then try to sell that as the feature. And I don't really see that a whole lot. I know it happens, but I don't think it's necessarily as common as it used to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It should be, because
it should be.
You want to make something like, you know, here, do your pitch. I got one better. I've got a movie for you. Ed Wood, you know?
Yeah. Bride of the Atom. And it'll star Bela Lugosi. Isn't he dead? No, he's still very much alive.
Very much alive. Yeah.
But yeah, we're told that make a short film and kind of show the style and the feeling of the story, and then that can be, you know, sold to kind of, you know, make the feature. And we don't really hear too much about that. At least I don't see it as much as it used to. And that might be because of the fact that nowadays people are just going off of franchises and already established things. But it's nice to see that this is kind of a mixed bag of both. Is that, you know, the franchise, for lack of a better word, was pretty much dead when it came to movies. Thank you, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. You did a fantastic job on that one. Combined with the series, because there was a TV series that came after that was really bad.
The animated series.
What was that?
The animated series.
Oh, I'm not talking about the animated one. I'm talking about the live action one.
Oh, I didn't know about, either.
Man.
In my research for today's episode, I'm like, oh, this is more expansive than I ever thought.
Yeah, they made, after the second one came out, a very short, I think it maybe only lasted about a season, like a single one. and it was complete garbage. I remember it being on TV like at 6 o'clock in the morning because that's where they always put the shit stuff.
Oh, the prime spot before
6
American
o'clock
Gladiators. You know, you got some good stuff there.
Yes, it was always on at 6 o'clock in the morning, or at 12 o'clock at night. Again, they just buried it. It was always like on UPN. Okay, UPN of all places.
The symbol of standards.
The symbol of standard. But it was like right after Crow, the Crow series as well. Because there was a Crow series. I think they were made by the same people. But the point I'm trying to get across is that series for Mortal Kombat was garbage meat. It was terrible. I think the only actor who carried over was the one who played Sub-Zero in the sequel. And it was because he knew how to fight. So he could do choreography.
His paycheck.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, the franchise in terms of film was pretty much dead until this short film came out that led to a web series. And that's kind of how we got Mortal Kombat 2021. Do we want to dive into a little bit of the plot here?
Well, before we dive into it, like, do you know, oddly, and this is going to sound really strange, you know what this movie reminds me of?
What?
Is the Power Rangers reboot remake.
Oh my God, you're right.
In one very obvious sense is that, it had an original movie that was very much in line with the campy version of its original source. And then, 20 some years later, where people are nostalgic for it, but they don't want to admit that it was just goofy, stupid shit. They get like this serious reboot, like dark, gritty, Nolan-esque reboot where everything is taken so seriously, even though it's just a game where you and your friends mash buttons to just hopefully win, and you pick your favorite character. You didn't know any history behind his characters, just whichever one looked coolest.
Yes.
Or if you were like me, you picked whichever character you ironically thought was the funnest, like Johnny Cage. That's who I always was.
I never picked Johnny Cage.
I did, because he was like the worst character.
I always went Sub-Zero or Scorpion, preferably Scorpion.
Oh, so you picked the coolest character. I always picked the least coolest character.
Fuck, man. Like, I'm gonna pick the guy who can shoot shit out of his hand. And yeah, I'm gonna pick the guy that I know I've memorized all of the combination moves for. Okay. I memorized all, and on top of that, Sub-Zero and Scorpion had almost the same combination moves. So yeah, I would pick those two because I knew how they worked.
They're my brother, same character, just yellow and blue, right?
I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. And then my brother would pick Quan Chi. Remember Quan Chi?
Barely. The thing is, like, this is gonna be a very hard review for me because, like, here's the thing. I played the game.
Fan, weren't you? You were a Street Fighter fan.
Oh, well, out of the two of them, yeah, I was more of a Street Fighter man.
Okay.
But honestly, not to be a hipster here and pick the third party candidate, but I was a Killer Instinct man.
See, I never played Killer Instinct.
The only reason I ever did, I don't think I would have ever heard of the game, but when we got our Super Nintendo, it came packaged with the Super Nintendo. Yeah. That's the only reason I ever played it. But
I had Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition for Genesis, and then when I got PlayStation, because I never had Mortal Kombat for Genesis, and then when I got PlayStation, that's when I got Mortal Kombat, I think it was 4, and I love that game. Love that game to death. And that was the game my brother and I would play, is he would play Quan Chi, which was this fucking asshole who literally would stomp on your head. Like, you jump out of screen and stomp your head. And my brother memorized how to do that. So every single time I'd fucking play against him, I called it the stompity stomp. I'm like, what you fucking do the stompity stomp? And I'm like, I can't even get a word, any sort of movement and edgewise because you do that damn fucking move. But yeah, he did that. And then I started to master Scorpion's thing that he would jump back. And that's how I was able to finally bait him. It's jump. I'd have to time it out. So he would stomp as I would jump out of the frame, and then I'd get him. And I'm like, haha, I got you now, bitch. But,
don't you love how you memorize all these like button combinations for these games? Like it was life or death. And then by the time you've mastered the game, like a new game came out and you just moved on.
That, and you discovered puberty, and suddenly you're like, I care more about porn than
boobs.
Video games. Boobs. Okay.
What's the button combination for boobs?
Fuck this game. But yeah, I mean, I forget what we were talking about.
Oh, the dark gritty reboot to try to like salvage anything for Mortal Kombat.
But the other reason why I think you're actually 100% right on that, this feels like the Power Rangers reboot, is that it has one plot thread that I want to call it the impotence plot thread of being unable to do the thing that you need to do to win the thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because this movie has it too. And Power Rangers had the morphing. Kids couldn't morph. They just couldn't get it together. Couldn't work as a unit to be able to morph. And it's like they're morph gun shy, and they need some pills to get their morph up. And that kind of happens in this movie too.
Today's episode brought to you by Blue Chew.
Yeah, basically. Again, if any of those penis pills want to give us money, we'll take them too. Take all of it. We have a price. But yeah, I mean, it has the dark gritty reboot that really, I think,
stiff price.
That's really gross.
Sorry.
That does have kind of a nostalgia feel to it, and it does try to kind of make it less for children, despite the fact it is clearly for an audience. But what I feel that this whole movie misses, before we dive into kind of the meat and potatoes of the plot, is any sort of real character development. It's not in this. At least I felt so.
The sad thing about Mortal Kombat, it's like a Robert Altman movie. There's so many goddamn characters, and all of them are just there to fight. And I mean, it's the problem with a movie that's based on just picking your favorite character and button mashing. And I know the whole point was to beat the game, and then you got like the story of each character and what they did after. But did anybody really give a shit? You just picked which one character looked the coolest, and you played your brother or best friend or whatever the hell. And then you got bored and you put on HBO. It's like, I don't really care what Shao Kahn,
but I guess
all of them are.
No, I get what you're saying there, man. But I guess for me, the way I look at it is, if the first Mortal Kombat film is, utter cheese and really is the goofy end of the spectrum, I think we can all agree, despite the fact that we like that movie, we're not calling it high art in the least. Okay.
Oh, I'd like any movie though that has Veronica Vaughn in it.
Veronica Vaughn. But I'm just saying, like, that movie is for the most part utter cheese, and it's fine for its time. But if you want to add something different to Mortal Kombat, if you're making kind of an updated version, why not add in a little bit character development, a little bit of story beyond just the surface stuff? I get that it's a fighting game. I get that it has, goofy ass characters with names like Cabal and Kano, which are just like, I don't know how I can make anything that is, serious with people who have names like that, but you could try. And I feel that, with the exception of, say, the arc with Sub-Zero and Scorpion, that there really isn't anything else here other than people fighting and getting maybe the most cursory of stuff given for their background.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, like, I guess for me, that's what I felt was missing from this. Was, you've got these characters, and it's almost like you've got your toys, and you just have a very surface level, 9-year-old playing with these toys, rather than someone who, I don't know, might want something a bit more. Like, I felt that I was lacking some of that depth that would have been nice in the film. That's just me, though.
I think part of the problem, and I'm totally with you there. I think that there's no central main character, so it's not like Little Mac and Punch Out. You know what I mean? Like, it's whoever your favorite is. So they felt that they had to do service to every character, and in that process, they don't do service to anyone.
Yeah, no, I get that. So let's dive a little bit into the plot here, and we're going to kind of go piece by piece in this one for most part. So the movie opens up in 17th century Japan. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
I was like, all right, that's new. I was expecting a scream of Mortal Kombat and some fire, but we'll go with this. And it opens up where we are at the home of, I'm going to butcher this name.
Oh, Brian, I'm not going to remember any names. The thing is, I played this game growing up, and I did my research. I'm not going to remember anyone's name.
Hanzo Hashashi. That's it. Hanzo Hashashi, also known as Scorpion. Okay, that's. I'm going to refer to these people as Scorpion. Okay,
spoiler alert.
That's who they are. Okay, I'm going to refer to them by their name in the game as Scorpion. Okay, so we're at Scorpion's house. He's not Scorpion yet. He's a samurai. I think he's either a ninja or samurai at this time. And he's with his family. We're like, oh man, Scorpion's got a family. That's cool. And then his family is butchered by Sub-Zero, who's not Sub-Zero yet. And we're never given a reason why this happens. We're just shown it. So the point is that we're shown this struggle, which again, it would be nice to know, why does Sub-Zero want to kill Scorpion, and why does he kill his entire family? And you get this whole idea that the bloodline that Scorpion has is important, and that becomes kind of one of the central pieces of this movie.
And it's important because
they have dictated it to us.
Yeah.
But yeah, that you've got, Scorpion's family's murdered. Scorpion is on death's door. He's been stabbed with his own kunai. Okay. And he dies and he dissipates into fire. So he goes to hell. I don't know why. I'm like, Scorpion seems like a good guy. He's got a family.
Yeah, I don't know why he went to hell.
Why would he go to hell?
I love the opening to this movie too. He's like, oh, he's got a baby. He's got like a nice kid. He goes and tells his wife how much he loves her while she's gardening. I'm like, yeah, this is going to end in death.
Oh yeah. Because it's fucking Mortal Kombat. This isn't, Remains of the Day. This is Mortal Kombat here. All right. And so he goes to hell, and unfortunately for Scorpion, he didn't kill all of. Unfortunately for Sub-Zero, excuse me, he didn't kill all of Scorpion's blood because his baby was hidden, and Lord Raiden of all people comes by and picks up the baby to protect it because there's a prophecy. Of course, there's a prophecy because it's Mortal Kombat.
It's like Harry Potter shit. You know what I mean?
Yes, we're given some nice exposition text, which is always good to see, because they can't.
That saved like 30 minutes of runtime.
That saved 30 minutes and $2 million.
Yeah,
right there. Of what have been made, of making the movie. So we're given text of the tournament is, who Outworld is, what Earthrealm is. That Earthrealm is ultimately the perpetual loser of Mortal Kombat. I always figured, John, you would have more of appreciation for this since you like professional wrestling. Of what sort of wrestling character would Earthrealm be if we're talking about professional wrestling?
Brooklyn Brawler.
Oh man, really?
Well, I don't know. We'll give it Earthrealm a little credit. Maybe we're Road Dogg.
Oh no, not Road Dogg. Oh no, not Road Dogg. That's not good. So we're like the poster child for DX. Is that who we are?
Just kind of the hype man for DX. Yeah, like they're there.
You're the third wheel. You're not X-Pac. You're not China. You sure as hell aren't Triple H. You're just that other guy, with the dreadlocks. You're just there. You're there to take some punches, not win, not ever be champion. ever. Oh man, that's horrible. We're Road Dog. So yeah, our Earthrealm is in the shits when it comes to the tournaments. We lost 9 of them. If we lose the 10th one, we be fucked, as they say. Basically, Outworld and its minions of evil would take over the Earth. Kind of what happened in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So yeah, we really would be fucked. But basically, that's the exposition we're given. We're given that the only way that Earthrealm can win is with the champions being run by the blood of Scorpion. Again, I'm going to refer to him as Scorpion and not, Hanzo Hashashi. I guess that's it. His bloodline has to be the one to kind of fulfill the prophecy. Okay. And then we get cut to a character that is not in the game at all. He is a new character called Cole Young.
Yeah, I've got IMDb up right here just because I was like, I knew him as main character.
Main character number 1.
Or what's his name?
Just
Cole
call
Young,
him
yeah.
Player 1. That's what his name is, because he is purposefully designed to represent us, the audience. And I say that because in reading some interviews done by the filmmakers, they actually said that they didn't feel they needed to have any other characters from the game in this because there are so many. And it wasn't necessary to have someone be the main character from the game when we can just create a new one. Surprise, surprise. One of the things I've seen in the reviews since this movie came out is that most people complained about the fact that the main character isn't even in the game.
But he has a family.
He has a family. Okay. He is family man number 1. He is also a MMA fighter. I guess he actually is an MMA fighter in real life.
Okay.
I think so. I'm pretty sure that he is. His name's Louis Tan. His father was a stunt coordinator, and I believe also a martial artist in his own right. And I guess this guy, he's tried his hardest to get into Hollywood, and he just now has suddenly got in. He was in Deadpool, and he got killed in 5 minutes in Deadpool. As he was, I was reading about him. He seems like a great guy, but I don't know why his character's in this. It's all about the characters. So yeah, he's an MMA fighter who perpetually loses. He's not a champion anymore, and we get introduced to his family because it's all important to show the family. And ultimately, while all this is going on, there's machinations happening in Outworld, where Shang Tsung, or everyone's favorite, face morphing sorcerer, sends Sub-Zero to try to kill the champions of Earth before they can do Mortal Kombat. Because what we don't know is that even though we're the road dog of realms, we've actually been fucked over. Okay, so I think it's worth saying that Shang Tsung is the Vince McMahon of the tournament.
I love his like evil world. It's just the same one from Justice League.
It is.
I think they just used the same computer generated world.
Well, we did just spend all this time and money on Zack Snyder's Justice League. Do you want to use Darkseid's world?
Yeah. Here's an angle we never used.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, with those sorts of programs, you don't really need to. You can make as many angles as you want. But yeah, I did notice that. I'm like, why does this look like Apocalypse?
The thing is,
using old backgrounds.
With him as a fighter, like I've never ever been a UFC guy, but I worked at a bar for quite a while, and it was always on the TVs. And I never understood why all the guys that came in the bar were so into it, because it was just like guys rolling on the floor with each other, and hoping to like kick the other guy in the head. Hopefully. Yeah. And I'm like thinking this fight in this movie, I'm like, there's never this much offense.
I was going to say that I don't really watch UFC either, but it does seem like there was a little bit more of a fight in this one than just like some manly wrestling.
Yeah, we get a view of the bad guys.
The bad guys.
The main guy, Captain Bad Guy.
Captain Bad Guy.
Sorry, Shao Kahn.
Shao Kahn.
Yeah.
Get the name right, man. Shang Tsung. It's not Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn's the big bad guy. We don't see him.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Shang Tsung is the sorcerer.
I'm going to struggle here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct. So yeah, Shang Tsung deploys all of his minions, including Sub-Zero, who now really is Sub-Zero. He's not, Bi-Han. That was what his name was. And they, Sub-Zero goes out and tries to kill all the champions, and specifically target Cole, because he's got a birthmark. That's the one thing that is a weird thing in this particular version of Mortal Kombat, is that apparently you're identified as a champion of Earth by a weird dragon-shaped birthmark that apparently can be transferred if you kill somebody. That's the thing. And
it's strange that, like, thank God they're all young and vibrant and athletic. And what if, like, you had the mark, but you were like 300 pounds?
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
I was seriously going to say the same thing of, what if you were 80 years old? What if you were morbidly obese? What if you...
On a respirator?
Yeah, on a respirator. What if you were a paraplegic or something like that? How does the birthmark even know who to go with?
Test your breathing.
Yeah. Test your breathing. But yeah, so we've got the whole birthmark thing happening here, and Sub-Zero attacks everybody, but who saves him but Jax, the character really nobody picked.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who picked Jax. He was like, okay, he's got metal arms. I want Scorpion.
Cool.
Yeah, and he's played by Jimmy Olsen from Supergirl, by the way. So, it's something. And I gotta say, he is seriously in shape for this. Like, really, compared to what he's in Supergirl, because he plays a superhero in that too for a while called Guardian, and because I guess being Jimmy Olsen's not enough for Supergirl. So
I was gonna say, this dude's pretty like huge. I'm like, Jimmy Olsen?
Well, it's a different version of Jimmy Olsen. It's a very different version, but it's great to see him because he obviously wanted to make the jump from TV to movie. But anyway, we get this whole like chase thing that happens, and basically Jax takes him to meet Sonya Blade, and Sonya Blade in essence basically gives him exposition on the tournament and the marking and everything that goes with it. And of course,
what exposition?
It's
God
all
bless you, Sonya Blade.
What was that?
I said, but what exposition though? Oh, God bless you, Sonya Blade.
She's just like, I have this room full of all of my research. It's like, okay. And apparently she really wants to be a champion, but doesn't have the mark. She's obsessed. She's a fangirl, if you will, of Mortal Kombat and the tournament.
Yeah, I always wanted to play in the NBA too, but I suck at basketball. Sorry, toots.
Yeah. So, but she's captured one person who has a marking, Kano, the, I guess, replacement for Johnny Cage in this movie, because they actually said that. They originally...
This is bullshit. There was no Johnny Cage in this movie.
Well, that's the thing, is again, I was reading interviews with the filmmakers, and they were like, well, we have Kano, and he's kind of like an asshole and joke maker, and we really don't need two joke makers. I don't think you understand the allure of Johnny Cage. I don't think you get it. He's an Hollywood asshole. That's his thing. It's different from being an Australian asshole.
Yeah, they're two different kind of douches.
Two different kinds of douches. Two different kinds. So yeah. If you're looking for Johnny Cage, if you're a Johnny Cage fan, like John you are, sorry. Guess
they
you have
tease
to
him
wait
for the next
sequel.
one. If this one makes money, we'll get Johnny Cage.
Yeah. So, we get introduced to Kano. We get introduced to the tournament. Jax, basically has a fight with Sub-Zero. He loses his arms. That's pretty much it. That he had to lose his arms somehow.
And he dies. Like, I'm sorry, but he
you're
fell
dead.
he fell 20 feet on his face. He's dead.
This is Mortal Kombat. The confines of death are a little bit different here. So all this is going on is our hero Cole is like going through the typical, I call this the 5-step of acceptance for superhero situations of disbelief, and then some semblance of acceptance, and then wanting your family, and then acceptance. Okay. It's all the time. And that's again the same thing that happened in Power Rangers too. The 5 steps of superhero acceptance.
And for the sake of the plot, like he just accepts the fact that there are monsters.
Yes, there are monsters.
Immediately. Oh, okay.
Okay, well, if you're telling me you've got a room full of shit, it must be real. But yeah, they then decide after, in essence, getting attacked again. I think they got attacked again, right?
By a lizard.
By a reptile. You got attacked by a reptile.
Basically something they can kill that nobody's going to be like, oh, that was my favorite.
Yes. And, of course, when this happens, we have to get a little bit of a callback to the game with Kano wins.
Yeah, I was saying this to, to some people. I'm like, if you don't know the references to the game, say you saw the trailer and like, oh, that looks like some fun, but you never played the games. Some of the lines in this movie, the fan service lines, you got to think are the stupidest things you've ever heard.
Yes.
Like, get over here.
Like
fatality.
No one actually says test your might.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one would ever say that. Yet Liu Kang says test your might. I'm just like,
what he said, I went, fuck.
That's exactly what I did. I was like, ha ha, he said the thing. Yeah. He said the thing. But yeah, I mean, if that I existed on only one surface of thought, I would be entertained by that. But I exist on multiple surfaces of thought. And after that initial, he said the thing, I was like, that's really fucking dumb. But yeah, they get attacked by a lizard thing. Whole place blows up, and they have to go to see Lord Raiden. Okay. Honestly, I'm sorry. You're not going to replace Christopher Lambert. You can't replace him. Can't replace him. I don't care who you are. Can't replace him.
You mean Christopher, I don't care what the screenplay says. I'm going to do whatever I want, Lambert.
Yeah. You know what? Annihilation was too much for him. He said, you know what? I've done a shit ton of Highlander films that have been really, really bad. But this shit here in this Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I'm tapping out. I call it a day. You got a guy, bro. You got a guy who's a half bull and half man. I'm not doing that. I'm done. Done with that. But yeah, I mean they go to the Temple of Light, I guess, or Raiden's Temple, wherever the fuck it is, in the desert, and that's where they meet Kung Lao, which it's great
Zordon.
to see him.
Oh no, I'm sorry, that's Power Rangers again.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, same kind of set.
Yeah,
same kind of set. Kind of subterranean cave. Let's call it that, subterranean cave. And he meets Kung Lao and he meets Liu Kang, which Liu Kang, if we're familiar with the original, that was the main hero, okay, of the first movie. He's kind of subjugated to kind of being a side character in this. Which, okay.
I kind of get it because he's like the Leonardo of this series.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? He's a little one dimensional.
He is. I don't want to go through everything here because it is kind of, granular here, but we have a training montage in which everyone has to discover their arcana, which I don't remember this being a thing in the game. Is this might be a new thing?
Like I don't think it was. I mean, it was just a fighting game, and if you knew how to use your powers, you knew how to use it. Yeah,
it was like everyone had some sort of powers, but they never called it an arcana. Yeah. But it's just basically kind of like with the Power Rangers, it's their morphine. ability or their special power. Because if obviously human beings can't go against Outworld people with just their fists and kicks alone. They have to have special abilities. Okay.
Yeah, couldn't we just nuke them? Like, we want to do battle in the deserts of Nevada.
They clearly have the ability to, I don't know, be killed. So you would think nuke Outworld, then you're good to go. But yeah, we get a training montage, and Kano discovers his, Arcana is a laser that shoots out of his eyeball, which, okay, I guess that's weak. And then, Cole is having some problems getting his Arcana. He's having a problem getting it up,
it happens, sometimes the guy his age,
Yeah, 3 out of 5 times.
Once again, this episode brought to you by Blue Chew.
Yeah. So he having some issues, and it's because he really attached to his family. Again, has yet to accept the reality here. And while this is all happening, Raiden's like, "Fuck you, go home then." Basically, that's what he does.
Yeah, asshole.
Don't want to be part of the tournament. Fuck you, then go home.
Well, see, I love this too, because like, he didn't ask for any of this. You asked him to come here, and then
I was
you're
going to
like,
say you told him the fate of the world rests on his shoulders.
It's like, go home, jerk off. It's like, okay, I never wanted to be here in the first.
I didn't want to
place.
be. I wanted to hang out with my family and be called the human punching bag. Which, by the way, that comes back. That little nod there of Cole Young, the human punching bag, comes back. And so he goes home through a lightning portal and sees his family for a little bit. Has some reminiscing. But then, of course, Shang Tsung's like, "Fuck this shit. We're having a tournament right now," and starts attacking everybody. Like, attacks Raiden's temple. Kano, of course, is the dickhead who has to, get rid of a shield that Raiden had put up because he's the bad guy. Of course.
Oh, can I just say something about the filmmaking here, by the way? I'm pretty sure there was like 2 or 3 at least deleted scenes, because we get a scene
kind of rushed.
where they're like eating dinner, and there's one character who's eating dinner, and then they're then suddenly looking out at like a sunset, and a jump cut, and then the enemies show up out of nowhere. Yep. And I'm like, there is no setup. This is jarring. This is a jarring cut.
It is.
And I imagine that like there will, because normally you would have, okay, let's just fade out to a wide shot of the base, and then, slowly dolly in on the character looking at the sunset, and maybe a close up real quick, kind of help you establish the scene. Yeah. But, this is clearly like that had happened, and then 2 scenes happened, and then this one, and they're like, well, we got to cut out this 15 minutes of this fighting movie. Let's just cut to him looking there, and the enemies show up. Nobody will notice. But I'm like, I noticed. It's jarring.
It's very jarring. And then we get kind of, they all get their asses kicked. And of course, my favorite, Goro shows up. Okay. Doesn't get hit in the nuts this time around, which I thought was disappointing.
I was a little disappointed, actually.
I was a little disappointed in that. But this, of course, brings out Cole's Arcana, which is really just that he has like a special shield thing that goes over his whole body, and he can make like side weapons, and he absorbs all the energy and shoots it back. So it's kind of like Black Panther's suit.
He got himself like a turtleneck made out of rhinoceros skin and some swords.
That's his Arcana. I would be pissed off if that was my Arcana. I'd be like, this is it? I'm fucking related to
get like
Scorpion.
Really shitty Arcanas, like, now you have the ability to give yourself cancer. It's like, oh, what?
Yeah. So after this all happens, Raiden takes him to like a white void. And I know I'm kind of glossing over the plot here, but that's just because of the fact that there really isn't much to this.
No, there's no plot.
There's not a whole lot to this. So they go to a void, and then they decide a game plan because, just attacking everyone at once is not really going to work. So they decide to split up and take each one down separately. And that works Cole and who does he go with?
I have a problem with they're like, Sonya, go take down laser eyeball guy.
Yes.
It's like, no, it should be like, all right, here's the plan for all the rest of us. Sonya, you stay here and bake some cookies because you're just a goddamn human being. That's what they should have said. Yeah. You go fight a metahuman, just normal person.
To be fair, though, Kano's metahuman ability is a laser eyeball. That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like a gun in his face.
Compared to, everybody else who can shoot fireballs and shit. I mean, it's not much. But yeah, Sonya takes him down and, of course, gets her own little patch thing because she killed him. And now she has laser hands.
Oh, you get your powers if you murder people.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are the heroes. I gotta say that. These are the heroes, folks. The good guys. And we're left with just Cole versus Sub-Zero because Sub-Zero is a really bad guy. And he's taken Cole's family and started to freeze them. Okay.
They're dead, by the way.
Which they're totally dead. They're not alive at all. So this final battle kind of ensues with Cole facing off against Sub-Zero, and he's losing badly. And of course, it would not be Mortal Kombat without actual Scorpion showing up. So Scorpion shows up, and a battle ensues. The ancestor and the current bloodline battle against Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is killed by fire because, of course.
Well, yeah. I mean, I got to kill a Sub-Zero.
That's the only way you can kill a Sub-Zero is a fire, right? I mean, that's it.
I mean, a gun would have helped too, but
they are kind of mortal. They can be killed. So yeah, a gun or nuclear bomb would help. But yeah, Scorpion destroys Sub-Zero because Scorpion's kind of like the anti-hero in this. He's not a bad guy, but he's also not good either because he does go to hell.
And this did follow, from my research. Once again, I played Mortal Kombat growing up. I just picked a character and me and my friends mashed buttons. So I didn't know, but I did some research last night, and Scorpion was like a character that went to hell and fought for his ability to return. And
he wants revenge. It's all about revenge for him. So they do, again, the one positive thing in this is kind of that storyline between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. That is a more developed plot thread than everything else in this. So, to continue this story out to the end here, everybody wins. Outworld is defeated. They're no longer the road dog. They're more the Mankind, I'd say, of wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
I love Mankind. I really do. Mick Foley,
lucky, the childhood dream has come true.
He finally got his childhood dream of not being destroyed by Outworld and is the champion for now. But on the horizon, of course, is The Rock. So, got to keep that in mind. And the corporation.
No, it's the NWO. We're crossing NWO. Brands.
That's right. You've staved NWO for a while. But yeah, so Cole decides that he's going to go out to Hollywood and search for Johnny Cage. And that's the end of the movie. Again, it's a lot of fighting. Not a whole lot.
Yeah. I will say this was as good as it could be.
Yeah.
Given the source material, they did as good as they could.
I'm going to be a little bit harsher because I guess for me, with something as developed as a world and mythos that you have with Mortal Kombat, there is no way that you cannot make this more compelling and much more richer of a story. A lot of times we'll complain about movies that do not develop characters well enough. And with Mortal Kombat, you have complete backstories at your disposal. Like, you have entire developed characters, if you want to, with their own drama and with their own, faults that you could take advantage of. But you chose to just do the button smash game. Okay. And I mean, I know that this is Mortal Kombat we're talking about. We're not talking about high art here. But I just think that would have been nice to maybe go a little bit extra and maybe make this a little bit more coherent of a plot. Maybe not repeat the same shit that you did in Power Rangers. I don't know if these are maybe the same people. They might not have been, but they feel like it. They feel a lot like it.
Release the 5-hour Mortal Kombat cut.
Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong. You have some good performances. I like Louis Tan as Cole Young. I think he does deliver on that. I really like that you have Joe Towsome as Sub-Zero and I'm gonna butcher his name. I'm sorry. Hiroku Yuki Sandada as Scorpion. I think those
Sounds
are
right to
great
me.
characters. What was that?
I said, sounds right to me.
I mean, I don't know. I don't. And Shin Han as Shang Tsung. You've got good actors. You've got great actors. I even like, again, I mentioned that aside from Christopher Lambert, who's the greatest Lord Raiden of all times, again, you've got great actors here. I don't know why, instead of using those actors to your ability, you didn't just, make you make kind of a button mashing movie. And I just felt that was what was missing from it. It's not terrible. If all you want is kind of a rehash, I'd say that's kind of it, of the 1995 classic. It's kind of what you get here. But you're just missing
that's
all the
they
goofy
wanted
shit
to do.
But you're just missing all the goofy shit, though. Like, that's it. It's like, if you took all the goofy shit out of the 1995 classic, you'd get this movie. Okay? So yeah, I don't hate this, but it's just kind of lackluster. And I think I was expecting more, especially because they're coming off the heels of the web series.
Yeah. I think it's because they took it so damn seriously. It's like you don't want as much cheese as you got in the 95 version, but you got to find some kind of balance there. And I know that, like, the way you stand out from the other one is to go the opposite way. And also because the fans of this are now between like 30 and 40 and they want it to be taken seriously, even though it's just nonsense. But,
I don't think there's anything wrong with it being taken seriously. It's just like they're trying to do both. They're trying to make it a button smashing movie, but also have moments of serious stuff in it. And the problem is that, no one's trying to take a step back and say, okay, can we make a movie that tells a story complete from beginning, middle to end with characters that have arcs, that they learn something at the end? And that's really the if you want to know how to make a good movie, that's it. That's it right there. Okay? Make a story that makes sense from beginning, middle to end, and ensure that your characters learn something and are different people at the end of the movie. I don't think everyone here learned anything. I think it's kind of like, what did Raiden learn? Nothing. Cole learned to be a human punching bag because his arcana is that he is a human punching bag. Sonya Blade, she got her champion thing. Okay. Jack's got some metal arms.
She learned how to be hot.
I guess so. But again, there's no arc aside from Sub-Zero and Scorpion. There really isn't anything else there. And I think that it's disappointing if you were expecting something a bit more mature, especially with the fact that they can now do rated R. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm glad they did rated R because that's the only way you could do Mortal Kombat. And the gore and blood in this is spot on. I have no problem with it.
I was very surprised by that they didn't like puss out and do a PG-13. I mean, this movie is a hard R.
Oh yeah, this is you get exactly what you want in a Mortal Kombat movie from a blood and gore standpoint. It delivers on that. I will give it that. But I guess for me, I was expecting and hoping for something a bit more mature and something a bit more in line with, I don't know, a movie rather than a button smash film.
Well, the movie does move at a pretty steady clip, and I was actually surprised to see that it was an hour and 50 minutes after, because I checked the runtime after I got out of seeing this. But I would say that I think if they develop these characters, there's one of two ways to do this: either a great filmmaker, or it's 2.5 hours long to kind of evolve these characters. So I think that they just decided we'll do one or two characters, and then the rest of them are just punchy kicky.
Yeah, and I get that, and I know that it's hard. Not everyone is going to be the Russo brothers and be able to know how to manipulate and give enough screen time for every character. That's something that they have really found a way of doing with the Avengers films. But yeah, I mean, this is not a bad movie. I don't think it is a bad movie. I just think that it is more of the same. So if you liked the first one, this is kind of more of the same. It's not really giving you anything more other than just the characters are now a little bit more mature. But you've got all the goofy
if you like
shit
the game, you'll probably like this. It did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, but I don't think it is groundbreaking. I think anyone's saying, "Oh my god, this is so awesome." I don't see that. I see that as it's all right. It's something.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's putting this on in 20 years. Like, oh, you want to watch Mortal Kombat 2021 again?
No. People will only watch the 1985 one for that. Yeah. So, good talk. I think we've tested our might enough today. Get it? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Whoopsie. So yeah, Mortal Kombat. Go watch it on HBO Max.
4 out of 10.
You got it. Or go to the theater with your mask and eat your popcorn through your mask. That whole thing. Cool. John, where can they find you at on the Twitter machine?
The Unreal J Rolls.
Unreal J Rolls. Be sure to check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/Psycho Show. We don't know yet if we're going to do the whole Apple Podcast thing where they have now a premium subscription. Did you see that, by the way?
No.
Oh, yeah. Tim Cook announced that they're redoing how Apple Podcasts works, and you can now put premium stuff directly on Apple Podcasts. So we might look at that down the line. I don't know. But still, if you want to support us, go to patreon.com/Psycho Show.
Yeah. Get over there.
And help us out. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Psycho Show. You can also find us on the Epicast Network at epicastnetwork.com. If you have a favorite movie or question you want to throw away, or you want to test your might, you can contact us at cinemapsychoshow.com, and be sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to audio, and we will see you next time.
This episode was a flawless victory.
Excellent.
Epicast.